Happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday. It is Punchlines. I did not go live on Mondays. I couldn't go live this Monday anyways. But I'm back today. And just in time, too, because the world of boxing, the world of sports was hit with some monumental news. The retirement of none other than Terrence Bud Crawford was announced just yesterday, Tuesday. Huge announcement. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the Jake Paul AJ fight taking place Friday, and some of the things that happened this past weekend in the sport of boxing, and things that are going to be happening in the sport of boxing moving ahead. If you don't know, now you know. This is Punchlines. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and of course, make sure you hit that notification bell. Here we go.
I made hits, then I really made history. How I'm this ill, realistically, still a mystery. My ball's sick, who think of punchlines quick as me? No rhyme, I got this kind of consistency.
And I'm back. Happy to be back. Happy that you are tuned in. Happy that you're watching, and happy to all of the people who may be watching later on demand, who aren't here live just yet. Happy you're here as well in future time. Marty McFly style. Let's get going. Let's go. So, look, were you surprised at the announcement of the retirement of Terrence Bud Crawford? I got to tell you, it did not come as a surprise to me. Really, where was Terrence Crawford going to go from here? Other than maybe going back down in weight to fight at 160 and maybe try to become undisputed there. Even more unlikely to go back down even further to 154 and maybe try to be undisputed there. But the path to undisputed in those two divisions is not easy. The belts are fractured. A lot of work would be required. He's already pushing 40, and he's done so much. I would argue so much more than many people who've come before him, including someone who has announced himself to be the greatest of all time, TBE, the best ever. I'm talking, of course, about Floyd Money Mayweather. I've argued for a while now that Terrence Crawford has already passed him in terms of accomplishments. Guys, let's talk about it, right? Champion at 135, undisputed champion at 140, undisputed champion at 147, champion at 154, and, of course, undisputed champion beating Canelo for all the belts at 168. And, guys, look at the writing on the wall, right? For the last little while, if you're subscribed like I am to his YouTube channel, you'll see that he's been putting a lot of work into that YouTube channel. If you've been paying attention, right? What's been going on the last few weeks, couple weeks with the WBC, pretty clear that he had no intentions of defending that title, remaining undisputed at 168, probably defending that belt. So the announcement came. It wasn't like a LeBron James, I'm taking my talents to South Beach type of announcement. It wasn't a Tyson Fury style retirement message. If you haven't seen it yet, this is what was released on the YouTube channel. Let's have a look. Let's have a listen. This is Terrence Crawford's YouTube. Let's go.
Every fighter knows this moment will come. We just never know when. I've spent my whole life chasing something. Not belts, not money, not headlines, but that feeling, the one you get when the world doubts you, but you keep showing up and you keep proving everyone wrong.
Unbelievable performance.
This sport gave me everything. I fought for my family. I fought for my city. I fought for the kid I used to be, the one who had nothing but a dream and a pair of gloves. And I did it all my way.
It cannot be overstated how sensational Terrence Crawford is.
I gave this sport every breath I had, every scar, every triumph.
Terrence Bud Crawford is the pound-for-pound king.
Every ounce of my heart.
The fighting pride of Omaha, Nebraska, USA, and new Ring Magazine, an undisputed super middleweight champion of the world.
And I've made peace with what's next.
So, guys, I mean, let's just stop it right there. 10 out of 10 retirement announcement. 10 out of 10. All right? Bro, that was fire. Everything about that was fire. The video editing, the music scoring, the audio track with him speaking, right? Doing the own kind of narration of it himself. Bro, that was fire. 5 stars, 10 out of 10. 100% on the Rotten Tomatoes score. Right? Bro, that was perfect. I mean, he did it his own way. Just like he's handled his career. He did it kind of his own way. Right? He fought who he wanted to fight. Not necessarily exactly when he wanted to fight them, but he fought for undisputed after people telling him he was on the wrong side of the street. Right? He went up to fight Canelo and beat Canelo when everyone said he couldn't do it. Right? Last year in LA, he fought Riyadh season against Madrimov and kind of did what he needed to do over there, doing a stadium fight as an A-side. They said he wasn't a star, right? And people have said, oh, well, Crawford is not a pay-per-view star. Biggest Canelo fight against Crawford. Biggest Errol Spence Jr. fight against Crawford, right? And they were already clamoring for the rematch. So, Virtuoso, you're absolutely right. He did it his way. If you guys want to watch the rest of that video, it is on his page, on his YouTube channel, I should say. And I would suggest that you guys go check it out. So, look, the conversation is already going to get started. The conversation is going to be about how do we rank Terrence Bud Crawford. And in terms of modern day fighters, all right, I think that if you're going to use the pound for pound rubric that I have, I don't do Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I don't do if you shrunk somebody down, he would beat this guy. If you blew up this guy, he'd beat that guy. No, we just do it off of accomplishments. Right? We just do it off of accomplishments. So the modern era, you can kind of divide it, I would argue, in two kind of eras. The 15-round era and the 12-round era. We look at the 12-round era, people who fought 12-round fights, championship fights, right, at 135, at 140, at 147. I don't think anybody beats Terrence Crawford. I can't think of too many people who'd be able to go from 135 in the 12-round era, from 135 legitimately champion, and go up to 168 and legitimately beat the champion there. Not just beat him, decisively beat him. Not like, oh, it was a split decision. It was controversial. No. Nothing controversial at 140 in his win. Undisputed. Nothing controversial in his 147 win. Undisputed. Nothing controversial in his 168 win, undisputed. In fact, you could actually argue the guy that gave Crawford his toughest fight was Madrimov. The fight I went to in LA at Riyadh season, right? at Riyadh season last year in July when he fought him for the WBA 154-pound title. So do I rank him higher than I rank Floyd Mayweather Jr. as a 12-round championship fighter in the 12-round era? Absolutely. Floyd left unfinished business at 130. No Casa Mayor, no Popo Freitas. Unfinished business at 140. No Castiazú. Unfinished business at 147. No Paul Williams, no Antonio Margarito. Crawford has never left unfinished business. He cleaned out the division. I mean, you could say, oh, well, you know, he didn't fight Christian and Billy and Diego Pacheco and, you know, what, Resendiz at 168. Okay, if you want to go down that road, fine. I'm not going to go down that road. I'm not going to go down there because he beat the guy who legitimately held all the titles at 168. And if anyone wants to start talking about Benavidez, well, Benavidez is at 175. You're under no obligation as a 168-pounder to prove yourself against a guy that has yet to prove himself against Beterbiev and Bivol. I'm sorry. You don't have to prove yourself against that guy. Crawford has left no questions unanswered in his championship runs. I can't think of any questions other than what might have happened if he fought at 160. He's under no obligation to take on Janibek, who just, for whatever reason, tested positive and had his for a banned substance and had his shot at Erislandy Lara for more belts taken away from him. All right? And when you're the 168-pound undisputed champion, you're not really required to prove yourself against Boots Ennis, Sebastian Fundora, Xander Zayas, and everyone else at 154. I'm sorry. He's under no obligation. No unanswered questions. There are unanswered questions about Floyd. Is he still great? Of course he is. Is he one of the best fighters of this era? Of course he is. Is he better than Terrence Crawford? I've been saying it for a while. Absolutely not. People can disagree with me. That's fine. This is my opinion. It's my channel. I'm going to come on here when I feel rested enough and have the time to do it. And I'm here saying it right now. That's what I feel. That's what I believe. He is the best pound-for-pound fighter of the 12-round era. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. You can disagree with me. Okay? Oh, but he didn't go 50-0. Okay, but Mayweather went 50-0, beating Conor McGregor. Does anyone here think that Terrence Crawford wouldn't have beaten that Conor McGregor? Or even today's Conor McGregor? Or any Conor McGregor? Do you not think that this Terrence Crawford would have beat the Andre Berto that Floyd beat? Or any version of Andre Berto? I mean, I could go on and on and on, but I'm not going to. You don't have to. Because to me, these are pretty much rhetorical questions. No unanswered questions, in my opinion, about Terrence Crawford and his career and his championship runs. He's lasted until almost 40 years old. Guys, there's nothing else to prove. Great decision by Terrence Crawford. He's got nothing else to prove, no one to prove it to. Clearly, he had a lot to prove to himself. Apparently, he had a lot to prove to his mom and his family, which is cool. He did that 100 times over, at least. And let's all congratulate him because as soon as he's eligible for the Hall of Fame, he's getting in right away. No questions at all. All-time great Hall of Fame fighter. Speaking of which, Hall of Fame, I want to congratulate my man, Russ Amber, for being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'm definitely going to be going up to Canastota to congratulate Russ personally. What an accomplishment by him as well, Mr. Russ Amber. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to your family. Congratulations to Montreal. Because to me, Montreal, for a very long time, has been a very underrated place as it relates to boxing. I used to live in Montreal. I specifically moved to Montreal because of boxing. Back then, gyms were packed with amateurs like Adonis Stevenson and Jean Pascal, and with pros like Eric Luca, Adrian Diaconou, so many guys. World champion guys, Leonard Doran. And of course, great coaches like Russ Amber and Mark Ramsey, who to me, Mark Ramsey's still right now in my Mount Rushmore of trainers, especially trainers that don't get credit. Russ Amber too, by the way. Look at the guys he's worked with. He's working with Shakur right now. But trainers that don't get the credit that I think they deserve, Russ Amber's on that list. Mark Ramsey's on that list. And Jingo Inoue's on that list too. Inoue's father. He doesn't get any real credit. Definitely out here for what he does. I think he's a fantastic, elite, one of the best in the world level trainers as well. So big up to those guys. Big up to Russ Amber. Congratulations again to Russ Amber for a great career, one that's not over, and that's become now a Hall of Fame career. Couldn't think of many other people that deserve it more than Russ. So that's the Crawford. If anybody wants to talk about it, you're free to come on and chat about Terrence Crawford, about his illustrious career. Maybe your greatest Terrence Crawford moment. I think it's hard to beat the win over Canelo. Maybe Errol Spence Jr. You know, that was a huge win. It's got to be either one of those two, right? Because those two fights were amazing fights. Top 5, actually, too, and he says it himself, is the Ricky Burns fight. Ricky Burns, to him, is one of the best fighters he's ever faced, and Ricky Burns, to him, is one of the most underrated fighters of all times, of this era, I should say. He even told Eddie Hearn straight to his face, Ricky Burns, best fighter you've ever had. Ricky Burns. Forget about these other guys you're working with now. Ricky Burns is your best fighter, and I beat that guy. So big up to Ricky Burns. Big up to Terrence Crawford. Great career, Hall of Fame career. They tried to isolate him. They tried to silo him. They tried to blackball him. They tried to keep him on the other side of the street. And look at where he is now. Congratulations to Terrence Bud Crawford. Do me a favor, everyone. This is Punchlines. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And, of course, make sure you have that notification button hit as well. Thank you so much.
Fuck fame, homie, I rap for the change only. Counter punch suckers for lunch, I'm James Tony. You got the star look, but your ring and your chain phony.
And I noticed that my man Virtuoso tapped in. Virtuoso, please tell me you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, buddy. How's it going?
I'm doing all right, man. Yeah, man. What a career, man. That I think it's been marred by needless polarization. Because a lot of fans, I've heard a lot of fans say that he didn't fought nobody, but those are very talented nobodies that I've seen him fight, man. To be quite honest, man, because Like, yeah, the Errol Spence win to me was emblematic, you know,
Uh, it was emblematic, and then we lost Virtuoso. I don't know what happened to Virtuoso. So hopefully, all right, Virtuoso's back. You're back, Virtuoso. We lost you for a second. You were saying it was emblematic. Go for it.
yeah, it was emblematic because even though I felt that Errol Spence wasn't at his best in terms of his condition, it was emblematic because to me that fight represented that Crawford overcame the politics of the sport that kept him from having the big fights. And regardless of how Errol
I don't know what's going on with Virtuoso. He said, regardless of how Errol Spence, Virtuoso, come on, man. What's going on? Right when Virtuoso is ready to kick into these great points and starts to heat up, we lose him. So it looks like he's back. Oh no, it's Ignacio's here. Ignacio, you can take over from Virtuoso. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, there, good. Go for it. Don Ignacio. Don
Just really quick, he had a hell of a career.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily blame him for walking away at this point in time because I think a lot of us knew that at his age and his size, he wasn't going to compete with those monsters at 168. So there was no real hope that he was going to stay at super middleweight. I think someone summed it best that I saw earlier on social media today. Had Janibek not screwed things up, maybe Bud would have fought one last time to try to get two of the titles at 160 before eventually he walked away. But like you said earlier, because he screwed it up, there was no real incentive to move forward because Crawford would have never gotten a shot at Lara or Adames at all. No matter how hard he tried, neither one of those two dudes would have faced him. So I think he did the right thing. He walked away at the perfect time. You go out on top. You beat the best guy in the division that you last fought in, and you had all the belts. So I don't really think you can script it any better at this point.
No, I absolutely agree with you, Nacho. Perfect script, perfect ending, perfect timing. I couldn't think of a better way to go off into the sunset. Um, the can't think of too many other guys who've done it like this. I mean, look at Tyson. I mean, Tyson went on and on to the fact. I mean, not that he.
No, there isn't. There no great fighter that you can think of in the last. Well, the only one I could say, Maestro, that comes close, but even his was with an asterisk, was Hagler.
Yeah. What about Lennox? What about Lennox going out against Klitschko with the TK? Huh?
I don't really count that one. You know why? Because
Yeah.
that was a fat Lennox Lewis
Yeah.
that only won that fight. If he would have been in shape and beat him down, I think you could have said that. But that was a fat Lennox Lewis who was uninterested and unmotivated. And if it wasn't for that cut he gave Vitali, he might have lost that fight too.
Yeah. He cut him up real bad. He sliced him and diced him and then walked away into the sunset.
Yeah.
Virtuoso, you're back.
All right, yeah. So like I was saying,
you were cooking, man. So take over. Like you were right in the kitchen chefing it up, and then you lost gas. So
yeah, yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to say that, I'm glad that Crawford got those fights to get that respect that was overdue. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand people when they say that, oh, he didn't fought nobody. Oh, like, well, who was the best opponent at that time? Who was better than who the guys he fought at that time? Like, I've heard people say that the Ndongo win didn't age well. Okay, granted, he lost afterwards, but certainly what's my guy's name? The Scottish dude
Ricky
he
Burns.
fought. Ricky Burns, right? He fought for a world title again after he lost to Crawford. Two things can be true at the same time. But I've heard people say that, you know what, we're not fans of wins being aging well. We're fans of who these fighters were at the time. what their condition
I mean,
was.
okay, look, we could play that game all day long, right? Because
Yeah,
you
they
want to
do it
talk about,
selectively.
well, you want to talk who lost to who? Okay, fine. Okay,
Yeah,
Floyd beat Robert the Ghost Guerrero, right?
yeah,
Did Robert the Ghost Guerrero lose to like Danny Garcia afterwards and Omar Figueroa afterwards? And I mean,
right.
he lost to people after. So, I mean, you could play that game with anybody, right? I mean,
Yeah,
come on, go for it.
yeah. I mean, look, when it came to the Errol Spence and Crawford saga, right? It became that well, Crawford didn't fight nobody, he doesn't sell, and those things kind of worked in tandem with each other to justify him not getting the fight. But I
Pause that.
what
Hold up. Hold
yeah,
up. Crawford
yeah,
doesn't sell, but Errol Spence Jr. biggest fight was against Crawford. Crawford doesn't
yeah.
sell, but Canelo's biggest fight was against Crawford. Proceed,
Can
please.
you believe that? Can you believe that? But look at this, man. Even if they didn't get Crawford didn't get his hands on Thurman and Danny Garcia, I felt that those guys were overhyped. You know, um, quite actually, I felt like Amir Khan and Kell Brook had better careers, in my opinion. I think they
Well,
took better stuff.
here's the difference. Here's the difference, right?
Yeah,
He wanted to fight Thurman. He wanted to fight Danny Garcia. They didn't want
right,
to fight him, right? Let's go to Floyd. Floyd didn't want to fight Margarito. Floyd didn't want to fight Paul Williams Jr. Paul Williams. They wanted to fight him.
bro. He would have been the A side of Kell Brook. He never went undisputed. He only had one belt left, and that was Kell Brook, who beat Shaw Porter.
Exactly. Exactly.
Both mutual wins, for Crawford.
Don Nacho, your thoughts when you look at Floyd versus Crawford. To me, that one isn't really a tough one. That's not a pick 'em. To me, the tougher one is actually Ray Leonard against Crawford. But give me your thoughts. Go for it.
If I had to say which one Crawford I would pick in, I would definitely pick him at 47 over Floyd at 47. It's not even comparable. I think he's taller, longer, and he hits harder at 47 than
Southpaw switcher.
than Floyd would have ever been able to deal with that whole puzzle at 47. I honestly think if they fought, the closest you would get with both guys being at their peak would have been at 135. That's where you would have seen who was the better fighter between the two of them, is at 135, not 147. Uh, I I don't disagree with you with Ray Maestro. I think Ray dimensions wise would have been ultra tough for Terrence. Terrence probably could have hung in there, but yeah, Sugar Ray was nothing to be played with at
Bro,
welterweight.
that hand speed, bro.
Yeah, like,
And that power.
yeah.
The hand speed and the power. That's a
Yep.
problem for anybody.
I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
the only guy who was able to ever say they beat him outright at that division was Roberto Duran,
Yeah.
another all timer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, who he rematched and made quit.
exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So man, I think Ray Leonard is the man when it comes to the 15 rounders, and Crawford is the man when it comes to the 12 rounders. Because that's the other thing about Ray Leonard too. He fought 15 rounds in his prime. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
did.
so I got to separate the eras, right? So when I compare guys, I like to do it by those eras. I go, back in the day, I mean, they were fighting fights way over 15 rounds. So you got to put that era to the side, right? I'm talking about the era of the Jack Johnsons and the Dempseys and these kind of guys.
Maestro, that doesn't count. You know why?
Yeah.
Because they made a joke on The Simpsons one time where they said, "Gentleman Jim Corbett fought a grizzly bear for 100 rounds."
Yo, The Simpsons used to be fire back in the day. That used to be such a great show. Um,
Hasn't been that way since '98.
Yeah, it stopped being a great show. I think it kind of coincided with the time when Conan O'Brien left and kind of went off and did
Oh
his.
yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
all the
much. That's
yeah,
He,
the staff writers there. They change, and the sensibilities of the characters change.
yeah, because I swear he took his guys with him to his show because that era of Smithers and Mr. Burns and Principal Skinner and Willie the Scottish groundskeeper at the school though that was the era of the Simpsons. You know what I mean?
Right.
I stopped watching it later on, but yeah, that was a great point. So we got the old era, then we got the 15-round era, right? And then we got the 12-round era. And Crawford to me is the undisputed pound for pound right now of the 12-round era. We'll see how it shakes out in the end with some of these other guys, but yeah, I mean 135, undisputed 140, undisputed 47, beats Madrimov at 154, legit guy, then goes up and beats Canelo at 168 and walks away. That's the way to do it, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
I can't think of a better way to do it. There's no, I mean, what does he gain by beating Canelo twice? It was very decisive. He's already got more money than he needs. Perfect time,
Hmm.
perfect time.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a perfect recipe for him to step away because I see. I look. I would have been in support of him campaigning at middleweight. That is a glamour division. That is a historic division.
Mhm.
Has way more history than super middleweight. But honestly, it's just too wide open. And Johnny Beck, out of all the people, he was the one that popped dirty. And now we don't know the status of this championship status. Like it's up in the air. So that pretty much ruined that plan.
It did.
And Lara, and listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, but ever since he whooped Errol Spence's ass, the PBC has been adamant about not letting him fight their fighters, man. It's true. I just don't think they ever wanted him to compete under their promotional banner because of the challenges he presents.
And all credit, I don't think he gets enough credit for this, but all credit to Errol Spence Jr. because he demanded the fight. He pushed the
And so
PBC.
and so did Sean Porter. I got to give him his flowers too.
I don't think those guys get enough credit, especially from the
Yeah,
PBC haters, right? The
pretty
PBC
much.
haters want to throw all of the babies all out with all of the bathwater, right?
Right.
But you got to give Sean Porter, yes, true, your great point there, and you also got to give Errol Spence Jr. credit for demanding of Mr. Heyman
Yeah.
and all of his advisors
Yeah.
to put those fights together. They demanded it, they got it, and if it weren't for those two men, I don't know if we'd be seeing what we've seen from Crawford since he took on Sean Porter and everything that's happened since then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It became pretty clear that the politics was starting to erode, that they was willing to cross the street, but again, I think EJ did that against Al Heyman's will. Now, if we were to say who was the best of this era, it's pretty tough for me to say because he shares the era with Inoue and Usyk.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I consider the post Floyd Mayweather and post Klitschko era because their careers basically lined up most of the time. From '96 up until like 2015, they were pretty much neck and neck. But yeah, of the last, I would say 10 years, Crawford, Inoue, and Usyk stood out the most to me, and it's been their era, respectfully.
Yeah, I agree. Couple things I wanted to mention. I think you guys could disagree with me, but I think we saw this past Saturday why Diego Pacheco and his team want no business with Christian and Billy. Because we saw shorter, slower, less powerful, older version of Christian and Billy in Kevin Lele Sajo give Diego Pacheco quite a lot of problems on Saturday. And it's funny because right after that fight, where he gets knocked down for the first time, by the way, now all of a sudden they're talking about Hamza Shiraz taking on Pacheco, and Billy is out of the picture, supposedly yet again. Well, he probably should go and rematch Lester Martinez anyways. I think that fight deserves a rematch. But just interesting to me that now that Pacheco looks somewhat vulnerable, now the pivot is from Mbili over to him when it comes to Shiraz. Ignacio, what were your thoughts on the fight this weekend? If you saw it, of course. I'm sure you did. You're a hardcore fight fan.
Yeah, I didn't watch it live, but I ended up watching it the next day. My thoughts were that I think Diego's getting crapped on a little too hard from the standpoint of, you got to remember, this is a 24-year-old guy who is making his way up the ladder, and he's not fighting soft touches. He's fighting guys who are considered right outside of the fringe, or they're considered real contenders. I mean, Kevin Sajo was considered a real contender.
Yeah.
Well, of course, there was the chance that he might not look his best. The one thing I will say is I thought throughout the fight, he was able to land when he had the ability to create distance. He landed right hands, he landed uppercuts, and I thought he controlled the fight based on the way he wanted to fight the fight. Yes, did Sajo get inside and cause him problems, and Diego had to, hold and maul to kind of diminish Sajo's offense? Yeah, he did. The problem is, Maestro, is there are not too many guys, especially in this era, that can fight on the inside. So Diego is not an exception to the rule. He is the rule. A lot of these dudes do not know how to fight on the inside. So what they've been taught is, don't let these dudes start hitting you, grab, hold, and maul. So he's just doing what a lot of these other guys do. Unfortunately, fighting on the inside has become a lost art in the sport of boxing.
No, it has become a lost art, as is taking points away and disqualifying guys for excessive holding.
Well, the problem with that, let me just say really quick on that. So I've always had that. This has always been a pet fucking peeve of mine with boxing. The problem is none of these referees want to get demoted if they start disqualifying fighters, because a lot of this boxing, the politics are buddy, and that if you start demoting guys, if you start deducting points and disqualifying guys, guess what happens? You're not out there refereeing the next big fight. That's how it works, unfortunately.
Yeah, the fight that always comes to mind when I think about this is, and I'm actually looking up to see if I can figure out who the referee was in this fight. Henry Akinwande against Lennox Lewis. Akinwande was disqualified for excessive holding. He was holding way too much. Oh, look, it was the referee was Mills Lane in that.
I was about to say.
Yeah, Mills Lane. We need a guy from the Mills Lane School of Boxing, because when you are holding like that, excessively holding, round after round, like especially when you're talking about against a guy like a Lele Sajo, 5'8", literally his only shot is to get busy on the inside, and the referee is just allowing the fighter, in this case Pacheco, to absolutely nullify that. Not through using his footwork, not through using defensive skills, not through punching,
like flipping and countering,
like a stiff jab or uppercut when the guy's on his way in, or a 1-2 and a sidestep. Just through, I'm just gonna hold you and hold.
Just grab and maul.
Okay. It's not just that. It's not. Let me speak on that.
Yeah, go.
It's not just the clinching, but I'm seeing an epidemic of fighters dipping their head below the waist, and that's illegal. But they don't enforce that rule. Now, there's a segment of fans within social media, right, that want to gaslight people who saw the Brian Norman versus Devin Haney fight. Now, I'm pretty certain that Devin won that fair and square, yes. But what they like to obfuscate, right, is the amount of times that Devin Haney held Brian Norman after the knockdown to nullify his offense. That's the only way he can stop the inside fighting, is by clinching. But the referees are not bringing that to attention. They're not telling him, yo, dude, you got to cut down on that, or I'm going to deduct a point, because the system is in place for these guys to get these belts to set up another big fight. It is what it is. That's the politics of the sport.
Who is refereeing the referees? Like, who is judging them, training them, evaluating them? You know, it's
Well,
funny.
that's the thing, Maestro. That it's an old boys club. We know who
ESPN
they are, but they don't want to do it. They don't want to. For some reason, they don't want to enforce that rule. It's like it is what it is, man. Like I just cannot stand it when people try to tell me hold on, that this guy had a dominant performance, and yet when I look back at the fight, I see all this holding. Like, nah, stop that, bro.
Yeah.
The only one I can say,
Ignacio, go for it.
I was just gonna say the only big name referee I've ever seen actually deduct points in a big fight where he forced one guy to stop doing it was when Jack Reese deducted a point from Andre Ward against Sergey Kovalev. As soon as he deducted the point, guess what happened? Andre Ward stopped fucking holding and mauling, and you got a better fight than what it would have been had he not done that. The problem is none of these dudes will do it.
That's the point, because the in addition to the fighter who's being held, the person who's losing out is the fan. I mean, it ruins the flow of the fight, the momentum, the excitement. It nullifies the offense.
Right.
It's not boxing. Like,
can I speak? Can I speak on Pacheco real quick? Because I didn't get to.
I'm going to make one point and then go for it. There's a reason why I like boxing and not MMA. I'm not a big fan of watching guys grapple. I'm not a big fan of Olympic style, Greco-Roman wrestling. I respect it. I appreciate it, but I'm not crazy about it. You know what I mean? I want to see boxing. Go for it, Virtuoso.
Yeah, I mean, I have an exception for that because like when it's on the sprawl, when it's fast paced, the wrestling, I enjoy it. But it's all about getting dominant position. But yeah, when it gets slow and sloppy, it's not entertaining. But yeah, about Pacheco, right? Listen, from what I heard, his trainer was one of the guys. I guess is part of Benavidez camp. If I'm not mistaken, could you confirm that, Ignacio?
Yeah, so they were saying on the broadcast that I guess he took one of the guys that was part of that team with him, and that was like the guy that helped train him for the fight.
Oh, that explains why he still has difficulty fighting on the inside. I don't think he should continue to do that. And hear me out. I think he would do better against fighters that are his size, that are eye level to him. I think that Shiraz fight would be better than what expected. We shouldn't be fooled by the matchups he had with smaller fighters. But I'm thinking, like, dude, he got to leave anybody associated with Jose Benavidez Sr. I'm sorry. You got to go to Rudy Hernandez because he's training Jiu-Jitsu Nakatani and he's enhancing his skills as an outside fighter. To be honest with you, I think you should go to him.
That would be a good one. I'm going to mention somebody I mentioned earlier, which is Mark Ramsey. I'd like to see more guys
That
go
too.
to Ramsey.
Yeah.
Mark Ramsey does great work with his fighters, yo. I mean, and you talking about a great camp to be in, bro. You got Bazinian in there. You got Wilkins Mathieu, up and coming.
He's good.
A super middleweight in that camp, and of course you got the beast of all beasts and Arthur Betterby, bro. Like, go in there, get some work, learn some things, sharpen your craft up under Ramsey.
Yo, real quick, Maestro, about Mathieu. Who would you pick if you were to fight Denzel Bentley?
Bro, Wilkins Mathieu, man. Wilkins Mathieu's a really good fighter. I'm very, very impressed with that kid.
Maestro, is he better than Iglesias?
Not yet.
Yeah, because that guy has been knocking everybody.
Oh, Iglesias is elite for sure. Apparently, Iglesias beat Morel Jr. in the amateurs too in Cuba. So, he's
that's two different weight classes. I don't think he's ready for 168 just yet.
Yeah. Real quick, I don't want to make too much into the new WBA heavyweight champions performance, but it was an impressive knockout. I'm talking, of course, about Murat Gasayev knocking out
the ghost of Kubrat Pulev.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he's announced himself. He is in the heavyweight division right now. To me, I think if you are team Italma that's who you target right after his fight that's coming up in January against Jermaine Franklin. I'd go straight for Gasayev. It was a great performance in terms of visually, optically for the fans. You put that together in a highlight reel. You serve him up as the WBA champion. I still think he's undersized for the heavyweight division as it is right now. He's got a lot of skills, but we're also talking about a guy who did lose to Otto Wallin. You know what I mean? And
But at the same time, though, Maestro, I mean, I'm defending the smaller guys, but let's be honest, there's only so many guys who are in the heavyweight division that are built like power forwards.
Yeah.
So you're not always going to face guys who are 6'5" and above. You're going to face guys that are usually in the range of 6'2" to 6'4" when you're fighting them in the heavyweight.
Ignacio, I agree with you 100%. The problem is I don't really think that he has much of a speed advantage or boxing skills advantage over kind of the smaller guys in the division like Aji Caballo. You know,
No.
if he fought Caballero, he's losing all. See, the thing is, he had a speed advantage over
the ghost of Kubra.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think he has that against an Italma. I don't think he has that against an Ajit Caballero. You know what I mean? And then against some of these or against Usyk for that matter, who already beat him. I don't know. Maybe that's an option. I don't really know.
The one thing Gasayev has is that he has an eraser. That one punch power can bail him out of a lot of scary situations.
And he's patient and he sets it up because if you watch that fight from beginning to end, you see what he was doing with his body attack over and over again, round after round, until he kind of got that perfect moment where Pulev dropped his hands just enough and he landed that quick punch and it was right on the button.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful shot. What are your guys' thoughts about what the IBA's been doing? Because they've kind of snuck up a little bit with these Night of Champions. I remember, when they started them, they're kind of on YouTube. People weren't really paying much attention. Now you look at it, and like every event is flooded with boxing royalty. They've teamed up with looks like Dubai, right, where they're putting on a lot of their shows in addition to one of their regular stomping grounds of Russia. They're bringing in fighters from all over the world, people you don't necessarily always get to see. And what they did with this last one is they kind of combined the semi-pro, I guess we call it now, World Championships, the IBA World Championships, with this pro main event. Did you guys see the card, or have you followed what the IBA's been doing? Virtuoso?
I think he muted himself.
Go for it, Ignacio.
I've seen some of it, but I'm not as well informed. I've just kind of heard bits and pieces about what the IBA is doing. To me, the IBA, it just seems like they're the Russian version of Turkey. It's a bunch of oligarchs who have a lot of money that want to get involved in sports. That's what it feels like.
Well, yeah, they got pushed out of the amateur game right before the last Olympics. They were screaming and screaming. Well, I shouldn't say screaming, but they were trying to raise the alarm bell about a couple of those male fighters that were fighting women, and everyone was just ostracizing them and talking about their illegitimacy. But you know what? To me, it's the IOC that lost all legitimacy by allowing a main Khalif and the other one to fight in the Olympics. So
all you need is a passport.
Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. So as far as I'm concerned, it's the IBA that walked away.
I mean, to be fair, Maestro, the opening ceremony gave you clues as to what was going to happen. So I'll just leave it at that.
It did. And after that Olympics, it's the IBA that walking away from that looking great. Not the IOC. And to me, it's like you look at Triple G. I don't understand really Triple G's. I guess he wanted to be the head of the IBA. I guess He wanted Umar Kremlin's job, President Kremlev, I should say.
Uh-huh.
And you know, he wasn't going to get it, so he decides to represent this new organization that bans fighters from a country where he's actually quite popular. Don't really understand it. And in fact, I'm pretty sure Kazakhstan is still in the IBA as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that move by Triple G never really made much sense to me. You know,
The only thing I can hope for is that World of Boxing hires better judges, but that's so much to ask for.
bro, no, I mean their whole thing was the IBA does bad at judging, but then is their
Yeah.
judging any better? I mean,
I
I,
don't know.
I don't know either. So we got bad judging plus men fighting women. Congratulations, you just did a great job. Actually, you
Yeah.
did. Let's have a look at this. And before we go, I want you guys to just tell me your thoughts of this. This is actually taking place right now in Miami. Let's go.
Of intros. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. The gang's all here. Let's get to some actual question and answers. And I do want to let you know, media in attendance, we are going to come to you. You know I like to come to you guys, so please stand by. I'm going to get this thing rolling, and then I'm going to come to you guys. Mr. Joshua, can I start with you first?
Yeah.
Are you listening to something? I saw you putting the volume down. I caught you red-handed. What are we listening to? Something better than me, I suppose.
Oh, you know what's funny? You said the gang's all here.
Yeah.
Exactly what this time. Just something I'm talking
Come on, that's crazy. That means we're in sync. I love
We
it.
are in sync. How is everyone today? How's Miami?
AJ, I must say, I have consumed a lot of your content leading up to this fight. All the interviews.
All right, I've already heard enough. I don't even want to hear any more of that.
Yeah, it's just so much ass kissing, in my opinion. I'm not really into press conference, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
Unless Dillian White is involved and the chair is being thrown, I'm not interested.
or David Hay.
Yeah.
Or Derek Chisora.
Yeah, Derek Chisora. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but you got the perfect guy for the ass kissing in Ariel Helwani. I mean, come on, that's what he does.
Honestly, sometimes it's too much with the nice guy routine. I mean, I don't know. I'm there. This fight is gonna sell clearly. You know, people are gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm sure you guys are gonna watch it on Friday night. Apparently, Joshua's getting ready to fight another fight after this before a Fury fight, which to me makes no sense at all.
No.
You know, but yeah, talk to me about this fight, Virtuoso. First of all, what are your thoughts on it, and how do you see it going?
Oh, this Friday?
Yeah, this
Well,
Friday.
okay, listen. If he doesn't stop him within 4, I don't believe this thing is real. Um, I don't think Joshua is gonna go in there and even try to make that thing last the whole 12. It would just look like an exhibition. I mean, there's really not much that Paul can do in the ring. I mean, yeah, he hits hard, but the thing is, have you ever been hit by a heavyweight? That's the question that's going to be answered.
Well, apparently he's sparring with Lawrence Okoli and
Right.
J.D. Anderson and
Getting broken noses could be a facial fracture here
Greg
and there.
Sanchez, right?
I mean, yeah, he's been passed around like a blunt. I don't believe this guy is really like all that capable of beating Joshua, to be honest with you. Again, the plus or chance, cliche is going to be thrown around. I know Alicia Baumgartner was using that. Quite honestly, I think it was very embarrassing for her.
Chance.
Yeah, I mean, look, I guess, but just because you saw this guy getting hurt by the likes of Ruiz and Dubois and temporarily with Usyk and Klitschko doesn't mean that Jake Paul is just going to do that willingly. I don't think so.
We saw Badu Jack lose on Saturday.
Right.
42 years old, reigning cruiserweight champion, one of the oldest, I think the second oldest active champion when he lost. Oldest being Erislandy Lara. You know, why go to AJ? Why not go to Badu Jack? Surely that would have been a more winnable fight.
Supposedly,
Yeah.
really quick, I heard that.
Go ahead, Ignacio.
I heard that this guy reached out to multiple guys trying to get them to take this fight on short notice, but nobody would.
Even Crawford, I heard.
Yeah. So that's why I think he literally is just trying to save this paycheck from being taken away. So he had to do what he had to do. I honestly think, Maestro, like Virtuoso said, if we don't see Jake Paul getting stopped, then this isn't a real fight.
So you expect him to go longer than Ngannou did?
No, I think at worst, if Anthony doesn't get him out of there in 3 rounds, then that's a bad look.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy who didn't beat Tommy Fury, right? So it's like,
like we're talking about a guy who's been beating up on has-beens and never wers. So why would he think that in any
MMA has-beens?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, he never beat a real box. Well, no, I take it back. He did beat a boxing has-been in Chavez Jr. That's for sure.
Yeah, he did. But I'm guessing you'll be tuning in.
I mean, I'll take a look at it, but to be honest, I'm not all that thrilled.
Yeah, I got work that evening, but I'll stumble upon it.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask really quick, Maestro. Did you watch Tim Tszyu today?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. Just
no. In fact, I'll go watch it right now. No spoilers. I'll go watch it right now.
Oh, okay.
I'll watch it right now. I actually, these Australian fights kind of take place at weird times sometimes because they're
a whole day away, man.
They're a whole day.
You gotta get up early.
I got messed up with the Jai Opetaia fight, that last one he had, where he hurt that guy.
Oh my God.
That was scary.
And that is why Zerto is not going to fight him, and neither is Benavidez.
Yeah. Bro, that would be a great fight. Him and Benavidez, if Benavidez beats him.
I'm taking Opetaia every day, twice on Sunday, Maestro.
Yeah, me too.
Benavidez can't touch that guy.
Bro, you know what the funny thing is? I don't think enough people give credit to Morris Bradis for how great a fighter he was, because he gave Usyk one of his toughest fights, right? And he went the distance twice with Opetaia. How many guys can say that?
Yeah, there's not too many dudes that can say that.
Yeah. So there you go. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, especially today on a Wednesday. I really appreciate it. And hopefully I see you guys again next time.
No problem, man. I'll see you later, man.
Right,
Thank you, Dornálaíocht. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of your week.
See ya.
Thanks.
All right. So there you go, guys. As for betting, Chicano, I don't want to give betting advice. I don't want you to put your house up on the line. You know, you got that beautiful, estate up there in the Pacific Northwest. I don't want to affect that. So, I'm not going to tell you to do any bets. I don't know how this fight is going to go, when it's going to go, in terms of when it's going to end. So, no betting advice from me on this one. I'm actually really surprised this fight is actually happening. And, it's going to be interesting to see how we're all talking about this on Saturday. So, Virtuoso saying bet your life savings. Okay. There you go. Then I hear guys like David Hayes saying that Team Paul must know something to even take this fight. So what could they possibly know that we don't know? I don't know. We'll all have to tune in on Friday. Friday. It is Friday. It's not Saturday, so I don't want to give you bad advice on that. It is taking place this Friday, so enjoy the fight. Let me know how you guys in the chat, that is, and in the comment section, how you guys rank Terrence Crawford against Floyd Mayweather or Sugar Ray Leonard. I have him ahead of Mayweather. To me, the more difficult one there is Sugar Ray Leonard. I'd be interested to know what you guys think. But until next time, thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. This was Punchlines, and I'll see you next week.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
I know you're gonna dig this.
The Maestro.
Fist hits the bag, 1, 2, and comes back. Single fist here. You hear that beat? Think outside the box, then BOXing on top of them, clocking them, send them back to the corner for oxygen. Golden gloves, I know myself, I know the game, it's not a game, I know the ring, I want the belt. Finding the rhythm and hit them, split them and touch them and tip them, hit that six pack with that quick jab. Uppercut the bro, making them fall down, break them all down, switch stands, tippy toe, in the hands, give some more. You are not Muhammad Ali, anomaly, a Mayweather, Pacquiao, prodigy in the midst of fist to fist, just S2, hot to rock, think out the box, you know I got the rock to speed back.
That would be a little round.
Gorilla than the planet of the apes. I write a punchline and plant it on your face. Eat a punch that you ain't even gotta taste. Here's a shot that you ain't even gotta chase.